Now on Sunrise, with the floodwaters receding in western Washington, a key hurdle to getting federal aid to flooded communities has been cleared. Plus, Oregon's most populated county declares a state of emergency to address the Trump administration's immigration enforcement. Your news starts now. Good morning, and thanks for getting up with us on this Saturday morning. I'm Libby Dowsett. We will get to your headlines in just a minute, but first, let's check in with Chris McGinnis today with your forecast.
Good morning.
Nice to have you.
It's nice to be here. It is nice to report also that it is dry out there this morning.
Yes.
So a lot of us waking up to dry conditions.
Nice and
Let's take you live to Vancouver's waterfront. From the Springs at the waterfront, you can see the Interstate Bridge in the background and the downtown waterfront all lit up, nice and colorful there. We do have a low cloud deck. It is not as low as it was yesterday, so hopefully a sign that maybe we'll clear a little earlier than we did yesterday. It's 49 right now at Vancouver's Pearson Field. Downtown, again, you can see the low clouds kind of hanging over downtown, but again, not as low as yesterday. 49 last check at PDX. The dew point's 45, so we have a little room in terms of before the air saturates, as in before we would start seeing widespread fog formation. But it is a little foggy the farther south you go. Salem right now 43, and again we're probably pretty close to seeing some fog formation down there. And certainly we're seeing fog down towards Corvallis and Eugene. There's a dense fog advisory in effect for Lane County this morning. 48 right now in Beaverton and Sherwood, 45 Westland. Big perspective across the state, a little chilly, well, cold. Burns right now at 20 and 23 in Baker City, and Pendleton sits at 40. All right, the plan for today, areas of low clouds and fog, and this time of the year minus much wind to stir things up. It's a tough call as to how soon the fog and the low clouds burn off. I'm banking on the low clouds and fog burning off as we go into the early afternoon. And so today is a day that I think winds up being a lot like yesterday, where we saw a few hours of at least some partial afternoon sunshine with highs in the upper 50s. That's today. Libby, there is some rain back in the forecast tomorrow, and then another pretty wet work week ahead. We'll look at all of that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Chris. We begin this half hour with western Washington. The devastation widespread after atmospheric rivers hit the northwest this week, which led to historic levels of flooding. Floodwaters are receding, but the emergency is far from over. Alma McCarty has more.
Floodwaters in western Washington across multiple counties and communities, overtaking roads and businesses.
A lot of work, I guess, if you have to sum it up. A lot of work to be done.
Yards and homes.
And I want to cry, but, my house is underwater and I don't know what's left.
An emergency declaration requested by the state was signed by the president Friday.
The good news is that federal support is on the way.
Although the full extent of the damage remains unknown.
We need to coordinate with local jurisdictions to get the information of the overall cost and damage to the state, to estimate that, to make that and present that to the federal government.
Emergency crews working round the clock these past few days have navigated towns turned to lakes and pulled citizens to safety. Oregonians answering the call to assist are already en route or on the ground. At the request of the Washington Emergency Management Division, the Oregon Department of Emergency Management deployed a 6-member swiftwater rescue team to help with the ongoing flood response efforts. Their 7-day mission began Thursday. And, if needed, emergency officials say some members of Oregon's National Guard are ready to deploy, and drone resources are available for aerial assessments.
By signing that emergency declaration, people will be able to get individual assistance from FEMA. It will also make it so the state and local governments can get help with infrastructure repairs and debris removal. New video shows a massive landslide near the Oregon coast. The slide affected at least 5 homes along Highway 229 between Kernville and Siletz. The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office says 3 of those homes are significantly damaged. Everyone was able to make it out safely. The Red Cross is helping at least 2 homeowners. The slide started on property owned by Weyerhaeuser, and it moved all the way down to the Siletz River. ODOT does not have a timeline on when that landslide will be cleared.
I hope everyone learns that the kids are the future, that we need change like right now.
Hundreds of high school students in Washington County walked out of class on Friday. They were protesting ICE and increased immigration enforcement in that area. Some walked for more than an hour from Hillsborough High to the Civic Center. Students explained the importance of speaking out.
Hope that the community gets stronger and we all stay together. We all need to protect each other. Americans or non-Americans, all of us together need to stick together.
I'm disappointed that our legal system let it come to this. I wish that we could have done something sooner, but this is what we're doing now. We got to fight it. We got to fight it with everything we got.
The Department of Homeland Security sent us a statement saying in part, quote, "Children should be in class learning and having fun with friends. These students are only afraid because of fear-mongering and lies being spread by agitators, sanctuary politicians, and the media." Multnomah County has declared a state of emergency due to ICE activity. It becomes the latest local government to make that declaration. Salem, Hillsborough, Woodburn, and Washington County have all taken similar actions. This declaration will give the county more flexibility to request assistance from the state and respond to federal impacts. It will connect people with local resources. Next week, commissioners will also consider allocating $250,000 for legal and human services.
Now, earlier this morning, ICE took 2 more people from my district. These are 2 more people taken from our community and invoking ongoing fear and sadness. As I know we are collectively in a protective mode, it's understandable that we feel this way, and during these times we need to focus on strengthening this precious safety net.
Commissioner Singleton and County Chair Jessica Vega Peterson also plan to introduce a resolution to bolster the county's sanctuary status. They will hold a virtual town hall meeting and listening session on their proposed sanctuary policy on Monday. Newly released numbers show Oregon's unemployment rate continues to be one of the highest in the country. Data from September show the rate sitting at 5.2%. That's an increase from August. The national rate sits at 4.4%. Weaknesses in Oregon's manufacturing industry have been a key reason for the overall slide. Economist David Cook points to layoffs at Intel for hurting the overall numbers, but says some industries have helped soften the blow by adding jobs.
Contrast that with healthcare and social assistance, which has been growing super fast the past 3 years.
And these numbers were delayed due to the government shutdown that stretched nearly a month and a half. Economic data from October and November will be released in January. A major tax increase could go before voters next fall. Organizers delivered more than 190,000 signatures to the Secretary of State's office, all opposing transportation fees and tax hikes. And they turned in those signatures in dramatic fashion. Blair Best has our story.
Friday afternoon, a horse-drawn carriage delivered packages to the Secretary of State, filled with more than 190,000 signatures.
We're confident that we will eventually turn in about 250,000 signatures.
The signatures belong to Oregonians who oppose higher taxes and fees that are part of a transportation funding package Governor Tina Kotek signed in early November.
Being retired, can't afford the extra dollars for gas and the rest of the taxes that's happening.
The higher gas tax and other fees, an effort to fill the Oregon Department of Transportation's more than $300 million budget shortfall and prevent hundreds of ODOT layoffs and service reductions. Many Republicans, like Representative Ed Deal, don't agree with raising taxes and want voters to have the final say.
Let's find a solution that prioritizes road maintenance, focuses ODOT on their mission, and does not raise taxes and fees. That's what the Oregon people want.
We need to take the state back, and the best place to start is referendums and then go from there.
And more to come.
If enough of the signatures are verified, the issue will head to the November 2026 ballot.
What I'm asking is for the legislature and the governor, let's get back together. Let's figure this out in a way that the Oregon people want.
The Secretary of State's office says they have until January 29th to verify whether the initiative has enough valid signatures. If they do, the measure will be put on the November ballot. The governor's office and ODOT warn this effort has immediate impacts, pausing new funding. We have a traffic alert for you this weekend. The southbound left lane of I-5 under the Morrison Bridge will be closed both tonight and tomorrow night so crews can work on the bridge. The closures will run from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. both nights, so make sure to plan your trip accordingly and be on the lookout for road crews if you plan to use I-5 near the Morrison Bridge this weekend.